Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now, if you've been following me on my X-Men reading journey, we're reading every X-Men book or storyline in chronological order, and I'm reading them back to you guys. Now, today we're going to be covering a Marvel Masterworks Volume 1. This isn't necessarily Volume 1 of the series, because after Volume 7, it got renumbered. We got introduced to a new team of X-Men. They're called the all-new, all-different X-Men. And now these ones, they renumbered it back to X-Men Volume 1. So it's Volume 8. So here we got introduced to X-Men, Nightcrawler, all the new characters. We're going to be covering material from X-Men issue 94, 95, and 96. That will be from the dates of August all the way to December of 1975. So we're going to wrap up the year of 75 right here. And this issue starts off with, we've been introduced to the new team, and they just saved the old team in the previous issue, being Giant Size X-Men. So now that we have two teams, here the original team is kind of saying their goodbyes. They're thinking it's time to retire. And Cyclops stays as the leader. He stays, and he's going to guide this new team of X-Men. So that way, you know, when you have too many characters, some could get lost in the shuffle. So we're going to work on just developing this new team, because the old team had gotten canceled in issue 66 and they just didn't work. So we're starting over with a new, more diverse team. These issues were written by Chris Claremont, so this is his first time getting his hands on the X-Men. And he was not like a known writer at that time. This is really what gave him where he made his bones, right? And the artist here is Dave Cockrum. So at this time, Chris Claremont's still getting some help from Len Wein, kind of guiding him along to like what the whole plot of these characters is and so forth. And he's writing the dialogue and then throwing in a few of his own ideas, right? And this only lasts for the first few issues. And then as Claremont gets going, he just starts taking a hold of the wheel, if you will. And we got Cyclops as the leader. He's training other X-Men in the Danger Room. And there's clearly one X-Men that's a real pain, Thunderbird. He never listens to instructions. In the Danger Room, he does things the way he wants, gets everybody in danger, and they constantly fail these missions in the Danger Room. And Cyclops is really stressed out with this guy. Like, oh, what am I going to do with him? Like, he's going to get us killed in one of these missions. He feels he might not be ready to go out there on the field. We get introduced to these very throwaway villains, right? Look at their designs. They look very crappy. Like, there wasn't much thought put into them. So these guys look to be mutant, but it turns out they're kind of like, they're made from spare parts. They're like people they had been experimented on, right? And the real big bad here is Count Nefaria. When we see him, you know, okay, this guy looks like he has a little more depth to him. He looks like the big bad, right? Like the actual villain. Turns out he's the boss of these guys. And they break into this this base for spaceships, right? For like a NASA program. He plans to use this to launch some type of nuclear attack on everybody. He's on the TV screen telling everybody, I want every country to send me money, or, you know, or it's garnish for everyone, basically, right? The X-Men see this on the TV screen and they take action. They're like, we gotta go over there to wherever this guy's at, being this base. Once they find the base, Nightcrawler can teleport, right? He can disappear and reappear where he wants. So he easily just appears inside of the base and opens the door for the X-Men through the secret passage or whatever. Once they come in, hell breaks loose. It's like a Royal Rumble, right? Like WWF. They're fighting with all these C-list characters. And as they're fighting, Count Nefaria decides to make a break for it. So when he's running away, he gets in this airplane. When he's in this airplane, freaking Thunderbird chases down this airplane, and Banshee tells him, I could bring down that plane with my sonic screams, right? So you don't need to jump on the plane. He jumps on the plane anyways. Thunderbird is super strong, so he's pounding on this plane, and boom, it blows up, right? So we're thinking, oh man, he died very heroically, right? Trying to save everybody. But it didn't come off that way at all. It came off like he was being a real jerk and just didn't listen and got himself killed. Not only got himself killed, but put everybody else in danger. It starts with Cyclops just, you know, looking like shit and feeling terrible about what happened, because as the team leader, he puts like a lot of weight on his shoulders. He feels responsible for everybody, right? So every mission, priority number one is to bring back everybody safe and alive, right? So obviously that did not happen here. So he's, you know, like feeling like shit right now, and he's walking around just destroying things with his laser blast, letting out his anger, just kind of venting. And Dave Cockrum, I felt he did a really good job of just showing how miserable Cyclops feels. And through the course of X-Men, he does this a lot because he always puts a lot of pressure on himself. Like, he doesn't want to let himself down, the team down, or Professor Xavier down, right? Because he's like a father figure to him. And as he's doing this, we see this portal in the background. It opens up, and what looks to be almost the devil itself comes out. This big demonic creature. He starts beating the crap out of Cyclops. Cyclops is running for help to the X-Men. Now, this creature is said to be called Kirok, and the X-Men, they just can't do any damage to him. Professor Xavier uses his psyche to get inside his brain to see what makes him tick. He finds out you have to go back to that portal where the other dimension's at, and that's how you hurt him, right? So he sends Storm because she can fly, so she can get there a lot faster. Storm goes over there. Once we're in this other place, it's almost like another world, right? Once you get to this portal, she manages to find the weak spot to destroy Kirok, but in doing so, it messes with her mind when she's on this place, because it's like another astral plane, if you will. And these memories come out of her that we get flashbacks when she was a child. So we don't know much about these new X-Men. So here, it's already hinting a little bit at her youth that maybe it wasn't all it was cracked up to be. She might have had like a bad childhood, right? And then we get all the inner deepest thoughts of this demon stuck in Professor Xavier because he went inside his mind, right? So we defeated this creature, but it left a lasting impression in the psyche of Storm and Professor X itself. During this whole struggle, we got introduced to this other character that's also on another spaceship base. His name is Stephen Lang. This guy's a real piece of art, this guy. He's really hateable. To me, when I was reading him, he only came out on one page, and it's just sowing the seeds, introducing you to him. So he had nothing to do with this story, but he will be included in future stories, right? And he was highly, like you really didn't like this guy, right? He felt like a big bad, the next big bad next to Magneto, at least at this time in X-Men. So he felt like a serious threat. He just does not like mutants, and he wants to get rid of them. He feels we don't need them in this world, right? Much kind of, it felt like Hitler, how he didn't like Jews, right? It had that very same vibe, and I think that's what Chris Claremont was going for here. I think he was trying to send off that vibe that he's just like full of hate. And the issue kind of ends there, but you definitely want to keep reading to see what's up with this guy, right? And one thing the X-Men books did here, that you already start seeing them differ from other books in the way the stories are being written. Like where you have two stories going on at once. One, you get the full story in the issue, and then you always have another story that's like halfway through, so that the second story is never quite finished, and you would want to read the next issue to finish that story. And when you finish that story in the next issue, a new one will have started in that same issue, so that you will want to continue it. So there's always like two storylines being juggled at once, right? To keep the reader hooked. Alright, if you guys enjoyed this video, hopefully you hit that like button. You know, it really helps out the channel, helps out with the algorithm. And if you're not already subscribed, hopefully you hit that subscribe button. That way, if you wanna keep following me on this X-Men reading journey, it'll notify you on your feed every time the new video drops. Once we finish reading some of these, then we'll do separate videos getting more in depth on my opinions on Cockrum's run, on John Byrne's run, and so on and forth, and talk about my favorites once we actually get them read though. Okay guys, other than that, I'd like to just thank you guys for hearing me talk about the X-Men a little bit, and I'll check you guys out next time.